Good morning, sir.
Morning. Roshan, take a seat. Congratulations on having reached up to this stage.
Thank you, sir.
So the interview is on 11th.
11, sir.
Yeah. Feeling nervous?
Sir?
Feeling nervous?
No, sir.
Good, shabash. Keep up the same spirit. Okay. Roshan, please introduce yourself to the board.
Yes, sir. I am Roshan. I am from Chennai. I did my schooling in Maharishi Vidya Mandir, Chetpet. I did my graduation in Shastra Deemed University and on pursuing electronics and communication engineering. I have a brief interest towards developing web application and also watching travel vlogs. My father is serving in assistant director in Department of Post and my mother is a homemaker.
Good. So tell me, Roshan, you are a qualified engineer and why do you want to join civil services?
Sir, for me, civil services is not about achieving something but becoming something. So I want to become a person who can be qualified to be a public administrator with the values that I learned from the preparation that I have. And also the second reason is the civil services is not a monotonous job. It offers a variety of range of responsibilities that the post could have. So it interests me. So these are some of the reasons.
So you are a qualified electronics and communications engineer, right?
Yes.
And we are hearing a lot of things about the semiconductor mission in India.
Yes, sir.
What is this semiconductor mission?
Sir, traditionally India has been very strong in fabless manufacturing, but it is somewhat lesser in potential than in fab manufacturing, where it is strengthened in designing, but it is not able to produce or manufacture semiconductor. So this semiconductor mission is aiming for establishing the whole ecosystem of semiconductor production within the Indian soil, sir.
So how good India is in this field?
Sir, yes, sir. So the designing of the semiconductor, India has been in forefront, sir. But in manufacturing, it has been lagging behind its potential, sir.
Okay. So are we going to join some group to help the supply chain in terms of the semiconductor chips?
Yes, sir. India has been looking forward with other multilateral groups like recently our external affairs minister has visited US for this critical mineral partnership agreements, where due to the lack of the concentration of minerals in our Indian territory and also other manufacturing processes and procedures and also the ownership of the critical minerals within the one country, it is necessary to join the multilateral institution to strengthen the supply chain.
Okay. So I hear a lot about a word called PAC Silica. What it is?
Yes, sir. It is a US-led initiative where it is trying to diversify the supply chain from the semiconductor supply chain from the China. So it is trying to reduce the Chinese dominance in semiconductor industry, where they produce cheap semiconductors whenever other countries try to produce or manufacture semiconductor by themselves.
Is India a member of this group?
Not yet, sir, but there has been announcements which has been made by a US spokesperson about the US willingness to add India into the group, sir.
Okay. So your interview is on 11th February.
Yes,
a major event is going to unfold on 12th February. What it is?
Yes, sir. Bangladesh election is going to take place on 12th February.
Okay. So how important are the Bangladesh elections for India?
Yes, sir. It is important because of the turmoil that has been taking place in Bangladesh. Various unfolding events like attacks on minorities and also the hostility towards India has been increased in the interim government. So India has been looking forward for a stable government which can be arise due to the elections.
Okay. So one of the demands has been that India should extradite Sheikh Hasina. Should India do it? Yes or no? Why?
Sir, India should definitely wait for the election to take place, and also the request made by the Bangladesh is more of a vengeful request, which is against the charter that India has signed, extradition treaty that India has signed with Bangladesh in 2013, sir. So India has definitely have to wait for the elections and for a stable government and also for the justiceful proceedings in the courts of Bangladesh and then take a decision on that regard, sir.
My last question is the T20 World Cup.
Yes, sir.
When does it start in India?
Sir, I'm not sure, sir.
Okay. So there are a lot of buzz going around. Countries like Bangladesh and Pakistan not playing against India, not in India. Do you think it is good for the game of cricket?
Sir, it is, in my opinion, it is not good, sir. Using a cricket, which is a soft power diplomatic tool, and using it for political purposes is not a very good initiative taken by Pakistan and Bangladesh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Roshan,
Good morning, sir.
we just had our budget
Yes, sir.
on 1st of February,
Yes, sir.
and 1st of February happened to be a Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Do the rules permit?
Sir, it has already happened before during 1980s, if I am not wrong, and I am not sure about the rules and regulations, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
What are the key highlights in this budget?
Sir, after reading the budget, I feel that India has been in a consistent policy making towards skilling of the individuals, where it has taken various initiative in that regard, where it is trying to skill up and produce corporate mitras and tourist guides, and also other. It is trying to bridge the gap of industry and academia, sir. And also in the inclusion part, it has come up with she marts, where it is trying to empower women. So such initiatives has been taken place, sir. And also it is trying to keep up with reforms, sir, so that there is higher tax revenues, and then some simplification has also been produced, sir.
Over the years, it has been seen that the allocation for education has come down.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that's the correct direction we are taking?
Sir, there has to be an increase in education. So, in my opinion, there has to be increase in education expenditure, where it can also increase the research and development that is present, can stem the research and development, sir. So, in my opinion, it has to be increased, sir, so that the human capital also get increased, thereby producing high skilled individuals which can be used for achieving Viksit Bharat, sir.
Okay. And what is your opinion about the three-language formula in the new education policy? Why are some states opposing it? And is their opposition justified?
Sir, in my view, three-language policy is the policy which India needs to strengthen its unity in diversity, sir. By three-language policy, India NEP proposes 2 Indian languages which need to be taught in schools. Thereby, it will inculcate respect towards other languages and also other communities and other regions, sir. So, I would support three-language policy, sir. But there is also some states which are against it, like state of Tamil Nadu, which is saying like as there is success of two-language policy, it is finding its reluctant towards three-language policy. So there is some apprehensions towards applying three-language policy, sir. So I feel that there has to be a greater application which should be done in case of three-language policy, like a greater application, like establishing in some districts first, and then seeing whether it is successful, and then implementing it wherever the states are opposing it, sir.
Okay, my final question to you is regarding the recent trade deals
Yes.
we have had.
Yes.
One was with EU,
Yes.
and the latest one is with the US.
Yes.
How do you compare the two, and which one would be more advantageous to our country?
Sir, the EU and the US trade deal has been signifying the FTA diplomacy of India. And to pick one from these, I would say because of the largest quantum of trade which we are doing with the US, which is around more than 150 billion, more than 120 billion. I feel that the need for that FTA deal for US is more for our textile other exporters of India, sir. So I would pick US, sir, but also EU presents a FTA which presents a symbiotic relationship between EU and India, where there is a complementary deal which has been made. For example, to give an example, the automobile for which the high value automobile where EU is getting benefit, and the low value automobile where India is getting benefit. So there is a complementary relationship which has been promoted through that FTA. So I feel both the FTAs have its own strengths, but given the need of the exporters of India, US is much more needed, sir.
When will these deals come into force?
Sir, the EU FTA deal comes into force when the authorization from the EU Parliament occurs, sir. And US, in India and US, as FTA deal has not signed the agreement yet. They only announced the tariff reduction, sir.
Is this signature likely to be done?
Sir, India and US and FTA. Sir, there has been, sir, in my knowledge, there is no specific date which has been mentioned, but it is said it will be occurring soon.
So my first question is, you talked about semiconductor mission. What is a chip?
Sir, a chip is a processing unit where it is a fundamental unit in a processor, sir. So it helps in computation and also operationality of which enhances the efficiency of the processor and
What
the
is
systems.
a chip?
A chip as the semiconductor, sir. So there is a sorry, sir. I have to,
See, I am a layman.
yes, sir.
So you are the engineer.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking you to explain. I thought chip, is a body of made up of silica and some other material,
Yes,
on which you have ICs, a
Yes,
large number of ICs.
yes, sir. The NVIDIA is known for producing the highly competitive chips, sir. I'm not sure about the best chips, sir.
The size.
The recent innovations of 3 nanometer chip has been in greater use, sir. So,
It is being made in.
sorry, sir, I have to read on that.
You have communications engineer also. Tell us something about India's space program, the forthcoming flights, and the past achievements. Very brief.
Sir, India's space sector is known for producing cheaper and effective missions carrying out such missions, sir. So India's achievements are successful first time space towards, the rockets towards the Mars, which is Mangalyaan. And also India is the first country to land on the southern side of the moon through its Chandrayaan-3, sir. And also India is known for its own navigation system, which is NAVIC, where it presents 3 geosynchronous satellites and 4 geostationary satellites, sir. So India even recently produced a larger satellite, which is Bahubali, where it carried its largest satellite, sir.
You have been singing praise of India's achievements in this space.
Yes.
But recently we failed to place 2 satellites in the geosynchronous orbit. Why?
Sir, there has been reports which is saying that in the second stage of the PSLV model, it has been issue with the pressure condition and issue with the pressure modulation, sir. So that is the reason which has been quoted. And
Second stage.
second stage is my knowledge, sir, but
Third stage.
sorry, sir.
Last stage.
Yes.
When the final pressure is built, you kick it upstairs in the geosynchronous orbit.
Yes.
The tragedy is that PSLV has been our workhorse,
Yes.
and both the satellites failed in the third stage.
Yes,
So
sir.
there is something wrong there.
Yes.
Russia-Ukraine war. Why the, once again, some compromise talks are taking place somewhere in the Middle East. Why agreement is not being reached? What is the actual issue?
Sir, the actual issue is the Russia is asking for the Donbas territory, but Ukraine is not able to accede the territory as it is its integral part. So this has been the contentious issue between to arriving at the treaty, sir.
Russia already occupies a part of the territory.
Yes, sir.
How much of it?
Sir, it occupies Luhansk and Donetsk, sir, which is
Completely.
not completely, but to a larger extent, sir, which is almost I'm not sure about the numbers.
And that's a Russian-speaking territory.
It is a territory which has been towards Russian for Russian government, sir. So that's why.
For Russian government.
It supports the Russian government. The people there would support the Russian government and access a rebellion for Ukraine government, sir.
All right, my last question. delimitation.
Yes.
You know about delimitation?
Yes.
What it is?
So delimitation is the redrawing of the territory of the particular constituency. Thereby, it is in conjunction with the amount of population, as it represents one nation, one vote, one value for one people.
One nation, one vote, one value.
One value, one.
Yeah, but what has it got to do with delimitation?
Sir, as the territory can be redrawn, so that all the territory represents the same amount of people present there, and also uh, the same amount of people and the same votes that it represents.
I would say something else. Say if I'm wrong. The purpose of delimitation is to ensure that by and large, similar number of people are there in parliamentary constituencies all over India.
Yes, sir. I would accept that, because delimitation tries to achieve a similar number of, similar number of people within a particular territory, so that there will be no population discrepancy between one constituency and the other.
So, what is the strong opposition of the southern states, particularly Tamil Nadu?
Yes, sir. The opposition is that if delimitation occurs, then it would increase the constituency seats present in northern states and decrease the seats for the southern state, as there is a demographic performance has been higher in southern states compared to the northern states.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Roshan, glad to meet you, a young officer aspiring to serve the government. So tell me about Chennai. What is the history, when it was established, how it was established, its earlier name, then what has been its role in independence, and today, role in industrialization?
Yes, sir. Chennai has been a part of settlement of Thondai Mandalam in 2nd century AD, sir. And there has been various regime changes that has occurred in Chennai, from Kalabras to Pallavas to Cholas, then Vijayanagara Empire, where in Vijayanagara Empire they came up with Nayak systems, where one Nayak, which is who is Damla Venkatapati Nayak, sold that some part of territory from river Egmore to river Coom to British company, which laid the foundation for the contemporary Chennai, sir. And the name change occurred in 1996, where they wanted to shed the colonial legacy of Madras and move on to the newer names.
So with this new trade deal, how the Chennai will be benefited, or whole Tamil Nadu will be benefited?
Sir, Tamil Nadu exports textiles, 31% of textiles towards the US, sir. So, as the US trade deal, trade tariffs has been acting as a deterrent. So, this trade deal would benefit the textile industries, and also farmers present and the automobile industries present in India, sir.
Don't you think this you can get the technology from USA, modernize your textile industry, leather industry, as well as other ancillary industries for the autos and other industrial goods?
Sir, I'm not able to comprehend the question. Can you repeat this, sir?
Yeah, don't you think this technology transfer and as well as the machinery to textile, leather and other industries will enhance the capability of Chennai or Tamil Nadu to export better?
Yes, sir. The imports from the US can perform that increasing efficiency, but there are already a dependent population which is present in textiles and automobiles, who has to be taken care of, as they heavily depend on the present export conditions. So there has to be innovation within which should arise from ourselves, sir. So there has to be increasing R&D and.
But whenever there are changes, the capital comes, new machinery comes, new technology comes, new manpower also comes. So it is inevitable. Anyway, you have taken sociology as a subject. What are the social norms?
Sir, social norms are those conditions and regulations which applies on the behavior and the actions of the individual, sir. which can be accepted, well accepted norm around the society, so that it regulates the behavior of the individual.
More and these folkways. Folkways.
Sir, I'm not able to
Morse.
more. Sorry, sir, I'm not able to get the words.
Okay. So, what is GPU?
So GPU is the graphical processing unit, where it uses to enhance the graphics that has been present in video gaming, etc. But it is now increasingly being used for artificial intelligence, so that you can enhance the computation of that particular technology.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Roshan,
Yes, sir.
you belong to Tamil Nadu. So if you look at the social development parameters, Tamil Nadu has done exceedingly well compared to the northern states in particular. What are the reasons?
Sir, one particular reason would be the Dravidian movement, because it focused on the scientific rationality and human capital, sir. And this has been the pro-government policies after the independence and the regime change which occurred, and also all the government that has occurred in the past 70 years. Sir. And also the second is the geographical region of Tamil Nadu is present near, and also it has 3 main ports, sir. So that it enhanced the manufacturing capacity of Tamil Nadu, which caused this particular growth, sir. And also in gender perspective, compared to the northern states, Tamil Nadu has increased the literacy rate. Also, Tamil Nadu accounts for 40% of manufacturing of women employed manufacturing in India, sir. So the gender parity also played a major role.
Okay. So your optional was sociology. Which Indian sociologist has influenced you most? And why?
Yes, sir. I would say Andre Bethel, because Andre Bethel expanded the concept of sociology in India, which was very highly confined to caste alone. He made a Trinitarian assessment where he involved caste, class, and power. And the second thing is he was able to detect the power structure change from the caste structures to other structures like political, economical structures. And also the third would be he was able to identify the changes that has been occurred from traditional to modern societies, like harmonious. He came up with harmonic society and non-harmonic society, where he was able to detect the dispersal of power of economic, political, and social powers.
Okay. But there is a view that the contributions or the works of Indian sociologists have not really been incorporated into policy making. Is it correct?
Sir, I wouldn't say it is correct, sir, because the tribal policy making has been in the Jawaharlal Nehru regime has been in conjunction with the sociological analysis, sir, where the punchil which the Jawaharlal Nehru has come up with is incorporated both the G.S. Ghurye's perspective and the Elvin perspective, sir.
Mm-hmm. So there has been decent incorporation of sociologists' view in our policy making at the national level. Okay, the recent economic survey, have you been able to go through it?
Yes, sir.
So it has very interesting observations. What is social psychophancy?
Social psychology.
And what context it has been mentioned in the economic survey?
Can you repeat the words?
Social psychophancy.
Sorry, sir,
I'll give you a clue. It is something related to the way AI interprets our responses. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay. You want to take it? Yeah.
If I take a knowledgeable guess, it would be the biases present in the AI, where it gives more male biased responses or a biased response in terms of caste, class, etc.
No, you need to read about it. Okay. What is gross domestic behavior? It is all sociology which has been incorporated into the economic survey this time.
So may I take a moment to think?
Yeah, please.
Sir, I haven't went through the word, but
It doesn't matter, it doesn't. So, you are a student of electronics and you have shown some interest in the web applications development also. So if you look at, say, one of the major aspects of web development is the security aspects. So if you have to secure my web applications, which port should I be considered about most?
Which port?
The computers or the...
Sir, I'm not able. I have not went to this.
Okay. The last question. So very recently, some development has taken place in AI. Actually, the yesterday's stock market crash, especially in the IT stocks, was attributable to that. What is that development?
Sir, the Anthropic has come up with the Claude code, sir, which has inherently can develop the code and test the code and publish the code, sir. Publish the application, sir. So it acts as a replacement for software engineers, etc. Sir. So that's why the crash has been there, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Roshan,
Yes, sir.
your interview is formally over. How did it go?
Sir, I didn't revise about the semiconductors which sir has asked. So I have to go through it, sir.
Okay, good. Any other observations according to you?
Sir, I stumbled a bit when I didn't know. So
No, you're perfectly all right. So no need to worry about that part.
Yes.
Just 4 days are left for your interviews. On 11th is your interview, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have a depth of understanding. You know the subject very well.
Yes.
What we should do know that the most important point has to come first, because your mind is just working like a Param supercomputer. So, but it has to process the information in the nick of time, because the most important point has to be conveyed in first 30-40 seconds. The most important point, right? So just be precise and just focus more on the most important aspect of your answer in the beginning. The context can follow, right?
Yes.
So always try to work on that. You are very good. You have a very good understanding, your depth of knowledge, everything's perfect. At this stage, what is required is to process it in a structured manner. And remember, the most important thing has to come first.
Yes.
The language and the explanation can follow, or it may not even be required. Okay?
Yes.
This is first part we have to bear in mind. Second part, just little bit be more engaged. You are looking like, you are entering into a field of interrogation.
Yes.
You are not being integrated, boy. You are just engaging in conversation with some senior citizens across the board, right?
Yes, sir.
So the way you are talking to your grandparents, something like that.
Yes.
Interact with them, engage them in the conversation. Smile a little bit. No need to be under pressure, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just see your knowledge has already been tested.
Yes, sir.
What they're going to look at here is your attitude, your aptitude, your expression, and how you perform under pressure,
Yes.
right? So don't worry about the knowledge gaps. Last but not the least, be thorough with the newspapers. Like sir asked, like your interview is pre-lunch or post-lunch?
Forenoon, sir.
Forenoon.
Yes.
So never miss out on reading the newspaper, any newspaper, whatever you read of the day. Go to glance through the headlines, and over the next 3-4 days, what I would suggest, consolidate on whatever you have learned. Try to be precise, more of a self-study, right?
Yes.
And then you will realize it will be of great help. Plus, there are a couple of events which you have to bear in mind. I will narrate them for you. It starts with Republic Day, like Chief Guest Republic Day. Who were why did European Union was invited for that event, right? Then follow the economic survey. Sir asked you about the social psychophancy, gross domestic behavior. These are the keywords from the economic survey. So pick up some of these keywords, new keywords related to the sociology from the economic survey. Third aspect is the budget, about which sir asked, right?
Yes.
So already you are aware of that. But remember, most important point should come in first 3-4 period.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Then sir asked about your own subject, the chips, NVIDIA, those aspects. That is expected of you because you are a qualified electronics and communications engineer, right?
Yes, sir.
So work on those aspects. Like then sir asks about the certain words, certain keywords in terms of your own subjects and the issues. Little bit of understanding. Remember, now the time is short, so just try to have some very concise information related to these aspects, right?
Understood, sir.
And then we are pretty sure you will come out with flying colors.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Sorry, last but not the least, remember, couple of mega events are happening, and one of them is census. Be thorough with the census, which starts on 1st of April this year. Be thorough with Bangladesh, you are already done with. Nepal elections are also there. EI Impact Summit is there. So some of these events between January to April, be thorough with them.
Understood, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
And you have already reached quite a bit, so I'm pretty sure you'll be able to come out.
Thank
Okay?
you, sir. Thank you,
All
sir.
the best.
Thank you, sir. Sir,
To ask any question?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you mentioned some terms, sir, so I wasn't able to.
Norms, mores and folkways. These are the social behaviors, as the chairman pointed out.
Can you please spell?
This is part of your sociology.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ठीक है ना? तो norms, mores and folkways. I have reconfirmed in the meantime. So you have to know that. And social mobility. ठीक है ना? Social change. ठीक है ना? Because social mobility affects the society. ठीक है ना? Certain communities were nowhere, now they are coming up with the democracy and changes. So they have to readjust with the society. So that is social change. ठीक है ना? ये सब चीज़ें पता होनी है. Marriages, type of marriages. ठीक है ना?
Yes, sir. Yes.
संस्कार्स. ठीक है ना? These are the basic things of Hindu society.
Yes.
We should know that. This is part of our culture as well as practice.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you.